Welcome everyone, Kyle here. It is Saturday, and we all know what that means. Saturday is the time for weekly purchases, the time of the week where we find out what the DHL guy, what the Amazon guy, what the FedEx guy, what Waylon Jennings, and most importantly, what did Santa bring to me. It is truly weekly purchases. So obviously, the happiest time of the year. It's Christmas time. Today's the day after Christmas. And in true transparency, I am filming this video on Christmas Eve as I will be out of town on Saturday morning when I normally film this bad boy. So there you go. Christmas Eve right now. I don't know what Santa's going to get me. So there's no Santa purchases in here. So hopefully Santa comes in hot and we'll save those for next week's weekly purchases. And I got my Motorhead Christmas sweater on. Gotta represent Motorhead, especially this time of year. The greatest Christmas song of all time, if you guys aren't aware. I'm not a connoisseur of Christmas music, not a big fan, but if you guys need to listen to one Christmas song, you gotta listen to Lemmy Kilmister do his version of Run Run Rudolph with Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. Game changer for Christmas music. That's all you need as far as Christmas music, if you ask me. And speaking of our old boy Lemmy, Christmas Eve is his birthday. So there you go. Happy birthday to Lemmy wherever you are. You are missed more than you will ever know. My favorite of all time. I can never get enough Motorhead. And so there you have it. So hopefully you guys have all had a really great Christmas. Hopefully you got a lot of presents. Hopefully you got a lot of stuff. Hopefully Santa was good to you. I think this is probably the best time to tell my best ever Christmas story, the greatest Christmas gift I ever received in my whole life, and one of the best stories in my life that I'll never forget. And I maybe have told this before, but I'm sure there's a lot of new viewers that have never heard this story. But when I was 7 years old, the number one thing on my list, my hit list for Santa, as you guys know, back in the 80s, we had the JCPenney's catalog, you had the Sears catalog, the Target, the Kmart. Young Kyle was a madman. He was circling. He was checking that list 100 times. He needed every G.I. Joe, WWE, Transformers, He-Man, you name it. I was into it all, as most kids of the 80s were. But that Christmas, my number one thing in my radar and in my sights was the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. The greatest vehicle, the greatest play set, and possibly the greatest toy of all time. If you've never seen that G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, look that thing up. It was a true game changer to this day. 7 feet long, just an amazing, amazing play set. So then, Christmas, I'm asking Santa, I need this carrier. But that year was the year I also discovered wrestling. So I did get in a few scuffs at school, as kids do, and they're 7 or 8 and they love wrestling. It's, you got that big dome jungle gym thing out there. Well, that's a steel cage. And the kids at recess, we got to fight. We got to throw down. We got to see who can be like the Ultimate Warrior. And got in trouble, that kind of stuff or whatever. And, Santa will bring you coal if you're not good. So I always had that in the back of my mind. Was I good enough this year for that G.I. Joe aircraft carrier? Well, little Kyle, much like old Kyle, he likes to get up at like 4 a.m. on Christmas morning because you never know what might be under that tree. So I was up, I was ready, I was up and at him, getting after it. Well, I looked under the tree. My sister had tons of toys. It was like Santa's Wonderland over there to that side. Then I look over to my side, and there's just one G.I. Joe guy under the tree. That was it. I said, this is the year. This is the year I failed everyone. I only got one toy under that tree. There's no aircraft carrier. There's nothing. It was just horrible. I couldn't believe it. I sat there sulking. I remember complaining about it. My dad shrugging his shoulders. Well, Santa's Santa. He'll do what he does. And it's just the most depressing Christmas day ever. And after what seemed like an eternity, I want to say it was around lunchtime, finally, I ended up sulking down to the basement. As much like today with older Kyle, his basement is where his toys were and everything. And back in the day, it was no different. I had a huge playroom, and I had all my toys set up, my armies, and you name it down there. Wish I had photos of that, but I don't. But sulked down there. Well, I went down to the bottom of the stairs, and what did I see in my playroom but that G.I. Joe aircraft carrier? And that thing was put together. Just an amazing sight. I still remember walking down those stairs, turning the corner and seeing it there. It was not totally finished as of yet. My dad didn't get all the stickers on. What my dad did is he stayed up all night. He knew young Kyle went to bed late on Christmas Eve because he couldn't sleep. And then he got up crack in the morning really early. So he only had a couple-hour window to get that aircraft carrier put together. Well, that thing had 1,000 pieces and literally 1,000 stickers to it. So he didn't get the whole thing finished. We finished it that morning. But still to this day, a memory I'll never forget, and kudos to my dad for letting me believe and let me sit in the lurch like, oh my gosh, I think that's the greatest joke you could ever play on a kid. Totally worth it, totally awesome. Just the greatest Christmas present I ever got. So I thought it was story time to tell that story. So there you go. Hopefully we get a new G.I. Joe aircraft carrier one of these days. I have no idea where I would put something of that magnitude, but I don't know. There it is. So look it up if you've never seen that carrier. And that was my greatest Christmas present, toy-related and ever-related, if you ask me. You guys tell me in the comments what your best toy-related Christmas present ever was. So there you have that. So a little channel news this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the videos. Pumping out a lot of videos. We've been pumping out a lot of videos the last few weeks, trying to diversify it a little bit, putting some Marvel maybe in the morning, maybe some wrestling in the afternoon, mixing some things, some Marvel Select, Marvel Legends, mixing it all up. We're going to have a Star Wars onslaught very soon. I'll talk a little bit about that, but I'll keep trying to mix it up. I don't want to put 2 wrestling videos in a day or 2 Marvel. I'll try to get a little bit for everybody. I know there's a lot of you guys that, like me, love everything. Maybe you don't collect it all, but you like to see everything. That's me to some degree out there, and I'm sure a lot of you guys. But I'll try to be wary of that. But I will continue to pump out. We got a lot of stuff still to unbox as we keep working towards that display tour. Hopefully you guys have been following me on social media at SirPaul64, at @the_Kyle_Peterson on Instagram. And then, of course, belowthecollar.com. Get your very own See You Later t-shirt. Search my name. Pops right up there. But hopefully you guys have been following along on some of my display stuff. I've been posting pictures as I'm getting my displays built. I did do a video of my Marvel Legends setup for my office. A lot of people like that. I'm glad I did that video. I didn't even think about doing that till the last minute. But that video is really very popular, and I know a lot of good comments on that. And I continue to work. This week I showed pictures of a new display shelf of a fire escape. So I'm still working on that a little bit, but that's just another thing we got in the display. So a lot of good stuff going as far as displays. This week, I had one of the most frustrating unboxings of my life, probably the hottest of hot garbage of 2020. Power Rangers Lightning Collection King Sphinx. I was so mad. I almost broke character. Well, not broke character, but I almost blew my top, I guess I would say. I was getting pretty hot. I was trying to keep it PG. You know what? There's a lot of kids that like to watch this sometimes. I don't want to be dropping F-bombs and stuff, but I just chucked those wings. I was so frustrated. I threw those wings. And then we opened up the pumpkin wrapper as well. Frustrating feed on that one, so your mileage will vary on those two. We also opened up Marvel Select Cable and Colossus, 2 very solid figures. Playing the long game on those like I do a lot of Marvel Selects, but definitely check those out. That Colossus was next level. I'm so glad I have that in my collection. Some of you guys might want to take a deep look at that. If you need another Colossus or you need one Colossus, take a look at that Marvel Legends or Marvel Select video. It is very, very cool. We opened up the Fiend, or not the Fiend, just regular old Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse, and we also opened up the Basic. Hopefully you guys check that video out. Definitely fast forward or stay to the end of that video, as my daughter Emma was so mad she didn't get to unbox that with me. She came in right at the end. She did a little impromptu review. She's 5 years old, and the funny thing is she noticed stuff that Mattel should have noticed right off the bat. She had her honest commentary. I think you guys should all check that out. Is if a 5-year-old can figure some stuff out, I mean, come on, these corporations, they need some help. I'm the guy to help you, or at least Emma. Hire her on full time. Because she had some really good points for a 5-year-old. If a 5-year-old notices, everybody else should notice those points. So definitely check that one out. Awesome toy hunt video this week. We'll talk a little bit about that very soon too. We don't have a lot of news this week, so I want to delve into some stuff I've seen on social media in the last week that I think I'll give my opinion on. You guys can take it for what it is. You can agree with it or not agree with it, but I'll give you my opinion either way. NECA on Christmas. I had my NECA Christmas unboxing of the Santa Gremlin Stripe, and then the Misfits Fiend we unboxed. So hopefully you guys enjoyed a lot of those videos in the week. We got a lot more videos to come. I think there's a lot of cool stuff coming to the channel in 2021. We keep growing. We're on the march to 4,000 subscribers. We just hit 3,000 a week ago. I think we're about 250 into 3,250. So let's march that up to 4,000. Share the video. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not. Tell a friend. Tell your grandma. This is the time of year. You know, tell your grandma, hey grandma, let me subscribe. Let me get you here. You need to check these videos out. Knock that out there. So keep the subscribers going. So very cool. This week, I was the guest, I believe it was Monday of this week. Hopefully you guys checked it out on Twitch. But I was a guest on the Major Wrestling Figure podcast Twitch channel. Geez, that's a mouthful. But I got to sit down for about an hour, maybe a little over an hour, with Smart Mark Sterling, and we discussed Marvel Legends, a little bit of my collecting history, a little bit of my display philosophies. Some people asked me some questions. Had a really fun time on their Twitch channel talking and answering questions. Hopefully we get to do that again one of these days. You know me, I could talk figures all day long, so definitely check that out on their Twitch channel. Go to the Major Pod Twitch. Check it out. So and some of you guys probably subscribed off of that, so if you guys are new to the channel, welcome aboard. And thanks for subscribing. So there you have it there. So very, very cool, and I really appreciate those guys asking me to be on. And who knows, maybe someday in the future they'll take the whole grand tour. We'll have a whole video of it all. I don't know. Maybe one of these days if the world gets back to somewhat normalcy, maybe in 2021. Who knows? Keep an eye out for it. So there you go. And then looking at some other stuff this week, let's talk a little bit about Action Figure Week. It was funny, my figure video, I found a lot of good stuff in my figure video. You know, that Red Hulk Marvel Legends that was really rare. That toy hunting video was really interesting because I did anticipate that to be probably one of the least findings, probably the most boring of figure hunting videos that I probably have had so far, just because traditionally Christmas week is a very rough week to find anything new. And if something new does hit the stores, guess what? There's 100 more people in every store at all times. So if something does hit the shelves, there's a lot more eyes out there. Things get taken away a lot faster than normal. So I really do hate hunting for figures during the holiday time frame. Part of my real world job, I'm out there in the thick of it a little bit here and there anyways. But a very successful toy hunt video this week. If you haven't seen that one, check it out. But one thing I've seen a ton of complaints on social media about is, it's the busiest time of the year, why are the shelves all empty? Well, part of that is there's so many more people in the stores. And you got to forecast. Everything is done via forecast. You know, the old days, we always see pictures of Toys R Us or Children's Palace or KB Toys. We see those glorious pictures of walls of figures. You know what that is? If you take a step back, we talk about it all the time on the show. Take a step back, put your businessman hat on. This is the hat I wear 60 hours a week. Yeah, you heard it, 60 at least. I work in the business world. Put that business hat on, take a big step back. You don't want that much inventory in your stores, because you know what? Nobody's going to buy that amount of inventory. You can't tell me if you have a 12-foot section with 150 pegs full of elites, that those are all going to sell. It's just not going to happen. There's not that much people out there wanting it. Stores are forecasting what they think they need based off traffic patterns. This year has been extremely difficult with COVID, as you guys know. Just throwing a wrench into everything this year. I don't care if we're talking food ordering, toy ordering, hammer ordering. People are working around the house more. If you guys try to buy furniture this year, the delays on furniture, just astronomical. People aren't going on vacation. They're spending stuff on that. But long story short, if stores have tons of inventory after Christmas or the week of Christmas, you know what that is? That is what we call a liability. After Christmas, how well do you think toys sell December 26th through, let's say, Easter? They barely sell at all. That's just the truth of it all. If stores have tons of inventory left the day after Christmas or even Christmas week, they're in trouble. It comes to the point where during Christmas week, you would almost rather, and there's a lot of stores that have this philosophy. It may seem crazy, but it's definitely true. You'd rather have no product on the shelves than 100 extra figures left over. Yeah, you're going to miss a few sales here and there, but guess what? You're saving time after Christmas of that, hiring that employee to mark down, scan down the product, put it into a clearance section, just the hours and time it takes to handle paying that employee. Plus, guess what? If people bought it before Christmas, they paid most likely full price or really close to full price. After Christmas, guess what? It's clearance down, the margins aren't there, and you take in that hours of working. That's the secret of it. You want everything cleared out. You want wiped out toy sections, especially, as we all know that have been around the figure game a lot, early January, throughout January, maybe in the first week of February, depending on your stores. Target, Walmart's, they reset the entire toy section. They get all new toys. They get the new modulars up. That's just part of the cycle of toys. If they have tons of clearance stuff out, it's just more work for the stores, more pricing down, less margins, stuff like that. So guess what? I want to be empty a couple days before Christmas instead of having just jam-packed shelves that maybe won't sell. You're going to lose a few sales in that, but in the return is you're not going to have hours of labor, you're not going to have lesser margins after Christmas. It's really a balancing act. In a perfect world, you would have just enough toys. Christmas Eve, when they close at 5 o'clock, you would be selling the last Star Wars toy, the last Transformer toy, and that would be it. But that's perfect world. That does not happen. And then you throw in COVID, everything else. It's so tough to plan and forecast and all that kind of fun stuff. So, got to take a big step back, put your business hat on. Stores truly would rather have empty shelves than a huge hangover after Christmas where they're not going to sell anything. There's not a lot of parents out there the day after Christmas, all right, let's go buy a bunch of toys when you just got a ton of toys for Christmas. It's just not the way it works, but it's always exciting after Christmas because sometimes, not this year because of patterns and everything, there's not a lot of good clearance left over. In my figure hunting video, you saw a little bit of that Star Wars collection down to $11. Maybe some Pirate Deadpool set, the Strong Guy Build-A-Figure Wave, down to $11. I think we'll see that. We did see Walmarts last week. Dumb. The one Walmart I was in, I know there's a few more across the country that started their clearance before Christmas. That is a toy department manager getting ahead of things and saying, oh, I got to do these clearance batches. I'm going to work ahead. I'm going to get done. It's always good to work ahead. I'm a guy that works ahead a lot in my job. If I have downtime, I'm like, hey, what can I get ahead on to save me down the road? Because you never know what's going to come up. That's a pro tip there for you guys out there. Don't procrastinate ever if you can't. I never do, and it's always been a motto I've lived by. But that's those department managers getting ahead of things. Well, you're going to sell that stuff that's on the shelf either way. And now you clearance it down, and you're getting rid of it faster, and you're not making those margins you need. Save that clearance for after Christmas, but every Walmart's a little different. Every Target's a little different. But the one loser in all this that I've felt so far this year is the Ross's, TJ Maxx, Tuesday Mornings, maybe Ollie's. I don't have any Ollie's around here, but I know they're kind of similar. These toy discounters. Usually the Christmas holiday season is when they get their big influx of toys. Well, with COVID and all the issues of 2020, I've really noticed, and I hit the last few weeks in my toy hunting videos, I went to a lot of these stores, because every once in a while you can find a gem or a jewel or a Marvel Legend figure or something like that. There wasn't really nothing to be found as far as what we collect. I mean, there was babies and stuff like that, but we don't do that. We don't talk about that. But as far as true action figures, outside of a few spots here and there, and really none in my area, there was not a lot for these discount dealers, the Ross's, TJ Maxx's, Marshalls, that kind of stuff. I really think they had the worst selection they've had in years, and that just goes by people were not traveling. They had more income this year, more savings, I guess you would say, from not going on these. There was stimulus checks, that kind of stuff. We guys saw what happened to our hobby this year with all-time pricing high on so many things. Those TJ Maxx's of the world did not get the inventory they usually get for Christmas. They just got really the true hot garbage is what they got. I tried to hit some of those because, like I said, every once in a while you'll find a gem or a jewel. The only Marvel Legend I think I saw was Rock Python from maybe 2 years ago. Really a dog back then, super dog now. Even at $8.99, he wasn't moving out of a Ross store. So that was just some of my interesting facts of figure hunting and just some of the holiday with a little step back business talk. Just a very, very interesting time of year that, you know, I don't think a lot of us deep dive into. Maybe we don't want to deep dive into it. I don't know. But there's my piece on that. So I thought I would make sure I shared that with all you guys on this video. Alright guys, continuing on with weekly purchases video. You guys know, I've talked about it the last few weeks, the action figure news is pretty much non-existent at this point in this type of year, as most people, and hopefully you guys out there, are getting some R&R, some downtime. This is a time to, you know, a lot of people are on vacation. I know at my personal work, there's a million people on vacation. I wish I was. I just cannot seem to get away. There's always a fire, there's always something burning, and that's just what I signed up for in this life. But hopefully a couple of days we'll get some R&R, some relaxation. Hopefully you guys are soaking that up as you need to get recharged for 2021. It's a new year, it's a new goal, it's a new everything. Everything starts over. Nobody cares about what you did in 2020. It's about 2021. But because of that, everybody's on vacation. There's no action figure news this week. So I figured I'd talk about a few other things. I just talked about a long rant about store shelves and all that kind of stuff. But next up is an interesting one. So I thought I'd give you a little peek to the channel's future. I did touch on this a little bit on that Major Pod Twitch stream I was a part of on Monday. So if you guys watch this, I kind of broke some news for the channel on there. just kind of what our 2021 plan is. I'm going to continue with the videos, obviously, all that kind of stuff. Who knows? We've talked in the past weeks about a few opportunities. I've had some really interesting TV opportunities come down my way. So hopefully those things pan out in 2021. It'll be very interesting if that does pan out. Not going to hold my breath, but very cool, and I definitely got some cool stories to ask. But we'll see if, or to tell about down the line. But we'll see how that shakes out. But one thing I've been fighting, and I've been fighting this internally, I don't think I've talked about it on the channel much. You guys know, I love Star Wars. My Star Wars unboxing videos has stopped. I've had so much Marvel and wrestling lately. I literally have about 50 Black Series figures I still need to unbox, and I got to get to those, and I will. Part of the reason I didn't unbox a lot of those right away is because I'm moving my displays, and that's one of the floating displays. So I kind of got to move some other things before that. I didn't want to open up a bunch of figures just to have them loose and being, you know, to the side or whatever. But I've been a huge Star Wars collector for a long time, starting way back with the old-time Star Wars stuff. And normally, I think you guys know me on the channel, I am not one that gets the FOMO, the fear of missing out. I don't see a lot of lines and say, oh my gosh, I gotta have that because everybody else is getting them. That's one of the worst things you can do in collecting, and that's what I see a lot. And I'm actually seeing a lot of that just in the Facebook groups, eBay, what I'm seeing. I think a lot of people get caught up in the craze of collecting, and they end up buying stuff they truly don't want, don't appreciate, or they don't have a reason. They just said, oh my gosh, I need this. It's the shiny new toy. Everybody's after it. I'm going to buy it just to be like everybody else. That's the worst thing you can do, in my opinion, in collecting, because you don't have a sentimental value to it. You don't have a heart for it, and that'll probably lead you to flipping that thing down the line, or, you know, and possibly losing money in the whole grand scheme of things. And nobody wants to do that. You got to protect your retirement, folks. Put that in the 401k. But that's just one thing. So I'm not one of those guys that's very easily influenced, but I got a little of that recently. I'm going down a new road. It's unbelievable, but like I said, Star Wars toys, I go way back. The Black Series has been my primary collection. I haven't been a total completist. I've been passing on a lot of the gamer grades and stuff I don't really follow. Star Wars Battlefronts, I don't play any of those games, so I don't really have a connection to those characters, as you can imagine, so I don't buy them. However, one thing I miss, and I rebought most of my collection way back in the day. I've told the story before. Maybe I'll tell it again if somebody wants a whole video on it. Maybe I could do that one day. But I came to an impasse in my life when I was 18, and I said it's time to sell all these toys, and I bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Good for me. That was the right decision at the time. Looking back, I really regret it because I sold my entire LJN collection. You guys know the craziness I went through earlier in the year about getting that back. I've gotten pretty much everything I need back. Outside of Toy Biz Marvel figures, but I feel I don't need those as much because I really do like the current day Marvel Legends. So I'm not going to go back to those, at least not now. Ask me in a couple years, maybe I'll get that urge to go back there, but probably not. But I got the Black Series, but one thing I've missed, and I was a kid in the height of it all. I was hitting stores, going crazy. My dad and I were working hard collecting these things. It's funny, this year, I think, I forget, was it 20 or 25th anniversary of eBay? It said, what was the first thing you bought on eBay? And you know what it was for me? Power of the Force Star Wars toys. And ever since then, I don't know if that was, you know, mid-year, somewhere earlier in the year when I saw that, it got me, my wheels spinning. I said, gosh, I really miss those. I wish I wouldn't have sold those. 3 3/4 figures, you guys remember them from the 90s. The Power of the Force, they had the red cards, the green cards, Shadows of the Empire, Episode 1, the vehicles. Star Wars Mania was at a whole new peak at that time. Lapsed fans like me, I mean, I always loved the movies, but there was that dark age of maybe 5-6 years, maybe 10, I can't remember what it was, where there was no toys, and then they came back with a literal vengeance. We had Frito-Lay, old Waylon Jennings knows all about Frito-Lay, but Frito-Lay was giving out Obi-Wan with a proof of purchase. There was Mace Windu. There was all kinds of mail-aways, all kinds of Star Wars excitement. And I, for one, was wrapped up all in it. My dad and I, like I said, we were hitting the stores, finding these. And like a lot of people, oh, we got to get one for outside the card, one on the card. Because look at those old Star Wars figures. They are worth a fortune. These are going to be worth the same. It's really, truly the story of the 90s. Everybody was thinking the same thing. Oh, my dad's Mickey Mantles, all that, they're worth a fortune. I better buy all these 90s Score, Topps, Leaf, you name it, every variety of cards out there. Now those are all penniless, worthless stuff. And those Star Wars were a lot of that. long story short, it's been in the back of my mind for 6 months, 8 months, and then I was on the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Twitch, been talking with Mark Sterling a little bit through Messenger and some stuff, and they've been having a lot of Star Wars talk lately. And it's just adding that to what I was already thinking inside. I said, you know what? I got to get those back. I got to get my Power of the Force figures back. I got to get that Star Wars stuff back. And the beautiful thing, and we're going to talk about this a whole lot more on the channel to come, those are dirt cheap. We're not talking $20 Black Series. We're not talking, Black Series from a couple years ago that are maybe $60, $80 in box. These are $3.99 to $6.99. And you know me, I got to get a deal. So what I said, you know what? I'm not messing around. I am not messing around. I'm a serious collector. And you know what? I got to get a deal. I'm not going to piece this thing together one by one because that'll eat your profits. Not profits, but that'll eat your dollar. You want to buy in bulk. And I should fast forward back. The other thing, before the Major Pod Twitch stream and stuff like that, I went to my local comic book store, JC and Hobby, cheap plug. Why don't you guys give me a discount, huh? Anyways, they had walls of this Star Wars stuff, and I said, oh my gosh, this is the final thing. They've been talking about it on the Major Podcast. I've been thinking about it for a while. There's been a lot of signs bringing me back to that, and now I see just walls and walls of this stuff they got in. I got to go down this line, and that's exactly what I did. So next week, for weekly purchases, based on the mail, we still have mail issues out there. I still got a lot of stuff I should have got this week that we won't see. But I will have the biggest weekly purchases of all time. There's no question in my mind. You guys tell me in the comments, how do I go about this? I don't know if you guys want to sit through me and 600 Star Wars figures I bought in the last week. I bought some major lots. I did some wheeling and dealing. Got to get a deal, guys. If you're going all in, you got to go all in. You got to check it off, figure it out. And by buying a massive collection, you save a whole lot of money, but instead of piecing things together. Especially when you're buying online and you got to add shipping into that, ship it all in one box instead of a bunch of nickel and diming you. Get the most bang for your buck, and that's exactly what I did. So, bearing mail issues, all that stuff, I think next week I should have all those figures. So we're looking at around 600 Star Wars figures. 600. That would be the longest weekly purchases of all time. I don't know if you guys want me to just do a quick show of that, or maybe I do a separate video where we go one by one. We spend a good hour, maybe hour and a half. I'll try to go as fast as I can, but I think we should document all the ones I got. And then my big plan is for 2021, I said, you know what? How about a quick snackable video? Maybe 3 to 5 minutes. We'll see how it goes. But I unbox every single one of these. We do a Star Wars unboxing every single day in 2021. Maybe multiples. I don't know. But that's where my mind first went. But you guys tell me. You guys help steer this channel and steer the programming here. Do we do that? Do we unbox one figure a day? I just do a quick video of, here you go, here's 3 minutes, and we're opening up Chewbacca in Hoth gear. I don't know, but I'm very excited. There's a lot of figures. I'm also on the hunt for one of my grail items. Some of the vehicles are the pricey things. I got to get the core vehicles, and you know what that's going to lead to, getting every single vehicle. You guys know me by now. I really need to get that out of all the Holy Grail figures and vehicles and playsets, I had pretty much all of them at one time. The one thing that forever eluded me was the AT-AT Walker. I have always want one. I need to track one of those down. I need to get a Power of the Force Millennium Falcon, so I need to track one of those down. That's a little harder to get nowadays as well. But very underrated series, and I think there's a lot of nostalgia. Like I said, there's a lot of people talking about those Star Wars. And out of those 600, I'm going to have a ton of doubles. So maybe we'll do some Star Wars giveaways and some freebies out there. Because, like I said, a lot of them are $3.99, $5.99. Very cheap figures. But very cool. And this has got my wheels spinning. My wheels are spinning. I'm going to have my 2021 collector's display. Those aren't going to be a part of it. I'm not ready there. We got a lot of work to do. But 2022, I love it. Like Hannibal from the A-Team, when a plan comes together, I've got some amazing ideas and some amazing thoughts that you guys will see throughout 2021, but you'll get the full video of my Star Wars collection in 2022. I'm bringing stuff. You guys know me. I got to bring it to the next level. I really take some time in my displays. I really plan them out, and I got some major plans that I think you guys are all going to enjoy in the future. So tell me in the comments, do I do a Star Wars video a day? I think, that doesn't hurt, does it? You want to watch it, you can watch it. If you don't, you don't. That's the thing. But and I got to decide, do we want to just do the longest weekly purchases video ever, or do we do our normal weekly purchases video? I'll reference the Star Wars, and maybe I'll have a bonus video where, for those that are interested, we'll do a whole video on here's all my Star Wars pickups for this week. You guys tell me in the comments. So there you have it. A lot of discussion this week with no action figure news, but I thought this was the perfect time to do it. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. And then finally this week, album of the week. It's got to be the Cheap Trick Christmas album. I'm not a huge Christmas guy for music, but Cheap Trick's one of my favorite bands ever, and I love their Christmas album. If I have a gun to my head and I have to hear Christmas music outside of that Lemmy song, that's what I'm going to listen to. So that's the album of the week. Also, I did listen to that Paul McCartney, McCartney 3. I don't know. It's just not growing on me. It's a little too soft. I know he's getting up there in age, and he does have a lot of ballads and stuff. But it's just, I like some of it. I really like his hard rockin' stuff. Back to the Egg, Paul McCartney and Wings. Best Paul McCartney album ever. So underrated. But he's got a lot of great stuff. And I like it when Paul rocks out. A ballad's okay, but I like more rockin' stuff. So I got to listen to it a couple more times. But that's where I'm sitting on that one. So there you have it. There's a lot of news, a lot of discussion at the top of the show. A decent amount of weekly purchases. A lot of stuff coming in right down to the gun. And a lot of stuff that unfortunately didn't make it that'll be in next week's. As well as next week's, we'll have some Santa purchases. We'll see what Santa brought me. But let's get down to it. Let's get down to the weekly purchases. All right, guys, let's get down to it. Our favorite part of the week. What came in for weekly purchases? As you guys know, the post office still in a little bit of distress. Haven't got everything. I feel a lot of you guys out there, me included, there's a lot of Christmas presents and stuff like that that are not going to be delivered till after Christmas. So that is unfortunate, but it is what it is. When everybody's ordering online, everybody's stuck at home, post office don't have enough people. Most places don't have enough people. It's just the way it's going. So yeah, it is what it is. But here is the stuff I did get this week, and we're going to start it off with a heavy hitter. One that turtle anxiety was crushed for another day. As this week I was getting my car washed, and there was a Target by there. I'd been at Target that morning. I said, you know what, I'm here. I gotta go. If I don't go, I'll miss something. I just know it. I went there, walked the store. You guys saw it in my figure hunting video. Walked the store, and bam, there he was, old Krang, just chilling on the shelf. 6 of them right there deep. Guys, do not pay scalper prices for this. It sounds like Target is actually stocking this, not the NECA reps. Easier to get, more inventory. I've seen stores online that got 24 of these in. Do not pay scalper prices. I'm going to say it as much as I can. Just don't do it unless you really want to, I guess. But got Krang. Very happy to get this. Unboxing coming soon to the channel. But very, very cool. Very cool figure. So happy to get Turtle Anxiety defeated for another day. And then if you guys were watching along on my social media, SirPaul64 on Twitter, _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram, make sure you're following along. I got a surprise in the mail. What was it, Wednesday of this week? Last I checked, you know, Amazon exclusive items, you pre-order them and you just hope for the best and you just wait. Well, this was supposed to come in January. Somehow a Christmas miracle came and they moved this up. But it's a Amazon exclusive speeder bike, Scout Trooper and the Child. Very cool Black Series speeder bike, an iconic vehicle. I can't wait to open this one up. Very, very cool. Like I said, Amazon exclusive. I don't know if it's sold out or if it's going to restock or what, but very happy to get this through the door. Very cool. Mandalorian madness. You guys are a part of it. The Star Wars buzz is an all-time high. Part of my buying this big Star Wars collection, getting back into it, was the love of The Mandalorian. One of the best shows in so many years. Hopefully you guys have seen that. Man, you got to check out The Mandalorian. Probably the best Star Wars thing ever. I mean, I love all the other movies, especially, you know, the ones I grew up on. But The Mandalorian, that next level stuff. I think everyone would enjoy that. So, very happy to get a Mandalorian figure. And it's Mandalorian Madness Week. Turtle Anxiety, we talk about it on the channel all the time. Star Wars Anxiety has eclipsed Turtle Anxiety. Well, maybe not. I don't know. It's close, though. Especially my area. I've talked about it the last few weeks, the last couple of months. You see it in my figure hunting videos. We find everything out there. There's decent Marvel Legends on the peg. There's pretty good Power Rangers on the peg. Wrestling is okay. Outside AEW, Mattel, you know, I find Elite 80. You've seen that stuff out there recently. The one thing we don't see anything of is Star Wars. Outside of that Luke and Yoda 2-pack and maybe a Rebel Soldier, you don't see a whole lot of Black Series out there. Star Wars fandom is at an all-time high thanks to The Mandalorian, and that's why I was so happy that I came across the Mandalorian set this week. You guys saw it on my action figure hunt video. Got the Armorer from the Mandalorian show. I knew they were hitting. I'm in a lot of Facebook groups. I was checking the Minnesota Toy Posse group. Check that one out. There's Kansas City Toy Hunters. There's nothing for Iowa. Maybe I need to start an Iowa Facebook hunter page, or somebody needs to. But didn't see anything. But I usually know if Minnesota or Kansas City hits, we're either going to get it in Iowa about the same day or the day after. And that's what happened. The day after they hit my target. Happened to go there first stop. I said, okay, I'm going to hit these 5 targets. Going to crank them out early in the morning. Hopefully I come across it. First stop of the day. Found the whole set. So I got the Armorer. I got Grief, Karga, good old Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers. Got to have Carl Weathers in your collection. And then Quill. I'm terrible. It's going to be fun when I do these Star Wars unboxings as I try to dissect some of the names on some of these really obscure characters. That's going to be a comedy video in itself. But got Quill, Solar Heart in Season 1 of The Mandalorian, and you know what? He never let go. He's still a piece of me inside. Of course, Moff Gideon, including the Darksaber. Moff Gideon, the villain of The Mandalorian. And then the one oddball non-Mandalorian figure, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, Evil Rey, Darkseid Vision Rey. So I got that. And then also this week, I finally found this, a couple weeks late, but better late than never, the Remnant Stormtrooper Mandalorian Target exclusive figure. Cash Grab City, I would call this one. It's just a regular Stormtrooper from The Mandalorian, just kind of dirtied up, is basically all that is. So pick this one up too at Target. Targets seem to be getting a heavy stock of these, so if you want one or you want a few, keep checking your Targets. But very happy to have this Star Wars anxiety done. Like I said, Mandalorian madness right now. Everybody wants these Mandalorian figures. I don't know. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people might end up resorting to scalper pricing on these because I don't think the quantities have been made. I think they knew the series was going to be popular. They just didn't know what extent it would take off for. So really keep your eyes out there. Ask your buddy. If you got a Waylon Jennings out there hunting the stores like you do, have them hunting for that stuff for you too, because you don't want to miss those. There's some key figures you need in your Mandalorian collection for sure. So there you have it there. How about a little throwback one? I pulled the trigger at a good price on this. I already have this mint in box. I do not have a loose version. Well, guess what? This is going to be my loose version. Damaged box, Jake the Snake Roberts from the Walmart exclusive flashback set. This is the Harley Race set, as we all know. One of the rarest Mattel sets of all time. I really like this Jake. This is a King of the Ring era Jake with Stone Cold. Just really like this one. I said, I needed a loose one. I found this at a great price. It was pretty much the same price as a loose one. Beat up packaging, which is fine because I'm opening it. So got Jake the Snake. I'm complete on my Jakes. See you later, Jake. And we'll truly see you later for an unboxing video down the road very soon. And speaking of that set, I also got a loose version of the Stone Cold. The dog of that 4-person set, if there is such a thing. I believe he was packed more to a case than most. Everybody wants that Harley. That's the hard one to get. But I got this Stone Cold. I said, why not? So now I'm going to have Jake loose. I'll have Stone Cold loose. I really don't need that Ricky Steamboat loose anymore because they're coming out with a Fan Central Walmart exclusive version. So it's the same exact figure re-released. I'm going to open that one up, so I'll have that one. So the only loose one I'm missing is Harley Race. I also have the HBK, Commissioner HBK. I have that Build-A-Figure loose currently. I just need a loose Harley Race. I really don't want to spend, $300 on one. So we'll see what happens with that. Will it get re-released? Part of me really hopes it does not get re-released. If it does get re-released, hopefully they give it like a soft goods cape or something. Make it a little bit different for the people that have the original one like myself. So there you go. I got that Stone Cold. Might as well finish up with the last Lucy of the week. One I've been hunting for a long time. Scott Steiner in blue jeans. I have the black jeans, but not the blue jeans version. We are getting dangerously close to finish this Jax thing. I say it all the time. I need that Brock Lesnar in the F5 shirt. It was from the Adrenaline 2-pack with Kurt Angle. I need that Mick Foley, of course, 1 of 3,000. I need the Stacy Keibler Off the Ropes edition figure. And that's pretty much it that I can remember off the top of my head right now. There might be 1 or 2 really easy to get ones that just don't pop up a whole lot, like a Rey Mysterio or a Randy Orton. But outside of that, I have everyone whipped. So hopefully very soon I will have all those. So very, very cool. You guys have been a big part of that Jack's Ruthless Aggression hunt. I think when I started the channel in April, I was right knee deep into it, and you go back to some of those April videos, it's insane how many loose figures. I'd get 50 loose figures some weeks, and now it's just 1 or 2, if any, as we try to close the gap and finish that collection off. So stay tuned. Hopefully it'll be done very, very soon. How about Walmart coming in hot this week for your old boy Kyle? Decade of Domination, Triple H, The Big Show, and then, of course, Beth Phoenix. So I ordered the whole set. The minute those things went up for pre-order, I was online. I got that snagged. So I got 3 of them. Kofi and Kane are supposed to be coming on Saturday. So hopefully Saturday afternoon, the FedEx Post, whatever, I get those. These were all shipped individually from Walmart and all had tons of bubble wrap on them. If you guys are in on card collectors, maybe I just got lucky, I don't know. But these came in phenomenal condition with a ton of bubble wrap. So that's good for the collectors. The bad thing I'm seeing a lot on social media, people got these orders canceled. I am not understanding why. Why did I get mine fine? I know I've got mine the second they went up for pre-order. So I don't know if the people that got canceled, maybe they pre-ordered later in the day, later in the afternoon, didn't pre-order right away, and there was too many pre-orders based on how much they had for the online section of Walmart. That's the only thing I could think of. I believe Walmart charges you right away, but if for some reason you weren't charged right away, maybe your card got declined because your date of expiration got changed. I'm not sure. I've had that happen before at Target. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why people were getting stuff canceled, but I'm happy I got mine. I'm sure I'll come across these in the stores. I usually do, but it'll be interesting because I know the Fan Central is the next Walmart exclusive, and I think that's supposed to be around February. Doesn't give a lot of time for these to get out. So I'm hoping this isn't the case, but my mind tells me I have flashbacks to that Harley race set where they might be a 1 case and done, very hard to find Series 2. I hope that's not the case. I hope we're not looking at Harley Race Series 2, but very well could be. So guys, keep your eyes open. Keep your fingers crossed that's not the case, but something in my gut is telling me we could have a Flashback Series 2 situation on our hands there. So we'll see. But I'm happy to get those 3. I'll have the Kofi and the Kane by the time this video airs, and then we should unbox those things like we always do. A lot of good unboxings on the channel as always. Let's see, how about this one? This is one I was excited for, and one of those things you pre-order so long ago, you forget you pre-ordered it, and then it just shows up in your mailbox, and it's like, it's truly like Christmas, even though we're in the Christmas season. I got the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Cobra Commander Regal Edition in the traditional Cobra Commander blue. A lot of craziness about this one back on weekly purchases way back when, as this was originally going to be a network, whatever app that is. Total joke. It was going to be exclusive to them. Last minute, the rug got pulled, blah, 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 back and forth. Just a massive disaster. But this is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, and this is, I feel, going to be a very pricey one down the line. Just because of the rarity and stuff of that. I did, of course, you guys know me with G.I. Joe. I am the biggest G.I. Joe fan ever. G.I. Joe and wrestling are neck and neck for me. It may seem like I'm a wrestling guy, and I definitely am a wrestling guy, but G.I. Joe is so close to my heart. I told the aircraft carrier story at the beginning. Nothing like some G.I. Joes. I'm already having G.I. Joe anxiety. January 1st, the Cobra Viper, the Firefly, Target Cobra Island exclusive. Supposed to hit January 1st street date. I am dreading it, guys. I need at least 2 of those. The Vipers I probably need 3 or 4 of. Hopefully, I can find them like I did the last series. You guys know I found a whole case of the Cobra Troopers, which those things are over $100 on eBay now. Hopefully, I can get lucky. Army building for Joe's is what I have to do. It's going to be the death of me. But hopefully, I find it. And if any of you guys stumble across it, hit your old boy up. Hit me up on Twitter, SirPaul64. We can make some deals if we need to. But very happy to have Cobra Commander home. You know, I love Cobra Commander. Very happy whenever I can get new G.I. Joes. So those were through the door this week. You guys probably saw my action figure hunt video. And I went down. I was at Best Buy. And I said, oh, do I need to do this? Oh, I think I do. And I did. It would be the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back Vintage Collection Carbon Freezing Chamber playset. On clearance at Best Buy. It's one of those things where the long game, you get lucky with the long game because I wasn't planning on buying this when it was $50. But now it's cheaper and I've decided to get into it. So I picked it up. The beautiful thing with this, I'm not going down the vintage collection path. It's too expensive. for the 3 3/4, the later ones. I'm getting the Power of the Force and some of the other ones out there, but the beautiful thing about these 3 3/4 Star Wars playsets, you can use them with the Power of the Force, you can use them with the old school 70s, early 80s guys, you can use them with the current day, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this around some of the Power of the Force and other Star Wars collection, so I will be doing that, and you guys know how it is. You can't just have one of those, you got to have two, because you fit them together to make the whole scene, so that's what I'm going to have to do. Bought 2 of them. Best Buy, if you're on the lookout for one of these, they're on clearance at Best Buy. I think Amazon has a pretty good deal on these as well. So pick those up if you're in need. Because like a lot of these vintage collection stuff, when they're gone, and Star Wars holds its value. People are looking for these later. This is something you could easily invest in if that's your thing. But got 2 of those. And next up, here's a really cool one. So you guys know I'm not a big customs guy. I never really have bought a lot of customs over the years, but every once in a while I do. You guys saw my Hulk Hogan Macho Man custom a few weeks back. Well, that same designer, Jason Wolf, Art of Jason Wolf on Twitter, look him up. I went and bought, he released a limited edition custom Road Warriors set, Hasbro style. Yeah, we did get Hasbro Road Warriors. These ones don't have their spikes, but this is my Road Warriors, WCW NWA Road Warriors. So you guys, like I said, I'm not a huge customs guy, but every once in a while, you know I got to jump on them. And you guys know kind of my mantra and the what I talk about all the time. Face-painted wrestlers, I cannot resist. Especially the Road Warriors, especially the Ultimate Warrior. Favorites of mine. So very cool he made these. I was a first-day buyer. They're sold out now, but absolutely love them. And I love what he does here is he casts them off of original Hasbro's, but then he uses magnets. So there's a magnet in every single piece. So the heads, arms, everything pop off, and they just stick back on heavy-duty magnets. Ingenious, very cool. Look him up. I know he's making other figures. He's made Owen Hart, he's made Zeus, Hulk Hogan, the Road Warriors. A lot of opportunities. But I do need shoulder pads for these. And I'm not buying the Legends shoulder pads. It'll probably cost me $100. I did have LOD 2000 extra shoulder pads. I don't know if I'm totally sold on them. I'll put one on right now, hopefully without knocking everything over. Maybe. There it is. Put it on. They look okay. They don't really fit totally, but it's okay. So I might use this because this is the only extra shoulder pads I have, and I don't want to spend a fortune on shoulder pads. But very, very cool. Recommend these. Check these out, and there might be more cool things in the future. So there you have it with a little Road Warriors. And then the final, oh yeah, it also came with a card. A little card he made, so very cool. The final 2 things of this week, I got to thank our old buddy, David C. Anderson. He was out in New York City for the toy drive with the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast group. He was out there, and he was doing me some solids. He hit up Wrestling Universe, I believe it was. David, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe it was Wrestling Universe. He knew I was looking for some of these limited edition Jakks Ruthless Aggression figures. I got a little bit of a collection. I got a loose collection, and now I got a mint on card of some of these. I figured I don't want them all mint on card, but I figured some of these key ones I would get. He found this at a hot price, negotiated even more down for me, so picked it up, and I still owe David like 30-some bucks. I'm never going to pay him. He'll never find me. He'll never see that $30. I'm going to run away, and he's just going to be out. He won't be able to pay his mortgage. His kids will suffer. Sorry, David, you know, that $30, I need to keep it. No. I will pay him $30, or maybe we're working on a hot trade ski. We'll see what happens there. And then finally, the last thing for weekly purchases. I showed this a few weeks back, but I figured it counted as a new purchase. So we'll see. But it was Pro Wrestling Tees, Micro Brawlers. Not a huge Micro Brawler guy. I dabble. That's what I say. I dabble. Not a completist. But I did get the Major Pod Micro Brawler set. 1 of 100. I did get lucky enough to get that. And David was headed to New York City, was going to see all these guys. I said, hey, David, take this with you. Take it to New York City and get an autograph for me. And that's exactly what he did. So now I got this thing autographed. I put it in this nice acrylic case for the travel on the plane so it wouldn't get crushed. Got to figure out where I'm going to display this, but I figured that was pretty cool and figured to get it all autographed. So there you go. So there it is. That is the end of the Christmas week weekly purchases. Next week, hopefully we can talk about some of our Christmas gifts. You guys in the comments, tell me what you got for Christmas. What did you pick up this week? What are you seeing out there? Were you on the hunt this week? A lot of discussion on the channel in this video, a lot of future plans. You guys let me know about that daily Star Wars unboxing. maybe that's the way to go. What do you want to see next week in weekly purchases? Should we do just a traditional weekly purchase? I'll reference the Star Wars stuff, and then I'll do a separate bonus video where we go through all that Star Wars stuff. Because I know probably some of you guys watching here like just wrestling, or you like just Marvel, or Marvel and wrestling, and maybe some don't like Star Wars. So I don't want to bog down the video with an hour of Star Wars talk if you guys don't want to see it. But let me know. You want me to do a bonus weekly purchases video on the Star Wars? We'll just reference it in the normal one, and we'll go from there. So tell me in the comment. And as usual, subscribe on Twitter, SirPaul64, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. And then don't forget, belowthecollar.com, Kyle Peterson. You get your very own See You Later t-shirt. Makes the best New Year's Eve gift for you or a loved one. I don't know. It sounds right. It sounds good. But I think that's it this week. So, you know, I'm Kyle. I've got a tiger by the tail. And guess what? I'll see you next year on weekly purchases.